哎，你这个你这哪穿的？它这个可以放大。没有，是那个做那个门的。
你把他们那个音乐调到。
No, no. Yeah, but they... And it's bad because that takes away the temperature.
我感觉不像是中国的路停进去了，应该是给那个车辆让道的。哪方先走？
I mean, the photos maybe 8 years ago.
Oh no.
I mean, I think if it was lit, you had to go on the bus for years. I think that it just lost the so I think that having it is still in there means you come out anyway. still going. So we had a really well this morning, really so maybe really well.
And how many is BBC tank number found? No? That's one word. This is very low.
No, but someone at the embassy, not embassy, the US Treasury guy was talking to people being in touch with us, like they're aware of everything. So like, he wasn't that. He was like, really? And frankly, the later it goes tonight, it is the less. Because if they're coming back tomorrow, if they're going to go to the African party, whereas if they're like, no, it's really good, just take it back, get it done.
I don't know. I've not seen anyone in that house.
Yeah, I saw them.
If they want to rent it to like even if you just rent one room, you have to have Was it? Yeah. Did you see him calling Trump an immigrant? He called Trump German. So like,
he gave you the certificate.
yeah. Oh, you're an immigrant.
Yeah.
So that's I can see the press officer.
因为他根本分不出来。
已经给那个 Dora 填了是吧？
哦，对对，那个给刀啊和艺术指导的，
他好像挨照顾吧？
对，挨着我。
When is 7 o'clock?
11. No, 12.
phone. Usually it's my phone. No. Earpiece. I have my earpiece. Yeah.
Instead of it was like we gave you.
What I'm going to do tomorrow, I should be here in the morning, right? 9G Live with Beijing. And they're going to do that again for me, right? Arrival and the half is 10 minutes on TV. Okay, tomorrow, 9G? Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I should be here around 9 o'clock local time, 8G.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And charge it tonight.
So that's the charger. The TPU plus the battery. Very easy, you just plug it in. So this is the charger. That's just the charger. So you put the battery. We put the battery.
喂，喂，是我啊。对对，不是，就是我们两家人拍比较长，收到了啊，讨论现场有很多的，对，都一样，都是我们这个画面，我们那边是这样，就是这个画面我们正在做对，可以吧？我觉得它可以，因为其他的媒体都显不出来，而且主要是我们在因为它这两波放出来，很多信息拍到这个方也在我们现在分开做，我要跟那个梁慧跟那个分开，他做美方，我做东方，我们美方做。会，那个贝森特的还有罗特特的包一起，我让杨慧芬做的方向，就是从开会前讲到散会，今天散会，一个下午一个晚上，因为现在那个流通那边还没出来谈到什么因为他是拦着的，他是拦着就是靠近他的。好，那先这样，好，拜拜。 Unless they can get me in. So, they're trying to give the embassy our names, no, they said I'm outside. I don't know how to produce outside. You can't produce outside. You can't keep sending me messages. I'm outside. Unless they can get me in. So you have to know each other. Yeah, we know each other very well. Before. Very briefly. Already. So tomorrow, more prep. Tomorrow, more prep. Right. Now we said more prep. Yeah. I said more prep, really. Also, yeah, maybe. Get the sandwiches. Okay. 1, 2, 3，继续说，我再继续说。又听不到了吗？怎么会听不到呢？可以听到，继续说，1、2、3，每周都听到我们的声音。每周听到我们。每周。对，我刚才就是这个意思，但能放一下吗？不是，这信号速度北京了，在这边。
Oh, is it the house? What is it? Like a thin.
今天我们就感觉就是四处游荡，随便做直播，随便做。我们来走一走这个流程踩个点，怎么吃饭，怎么测才是。结束了。这里在院子里带着一盒三然后我们所有的机器都没电。还有发电机只有没有气。直接放这种熬到大夜的时候，我以前我有过，就是他们在做的是多少对，就是他们我爸每周
熬2天是吧？
那个不按时来吃啊。就是这样的，就是我觉得我进去的时候本身不是那么而且我没有全部的做到，就是我这是我的车，我在这里换上黑白有那个档案的感觉。我们的小车是我们的小马仔，该什么呀？特别远，不马，不大，不是那没关系，而且没有飞机，我看一下这个
No, no, it's you. Well, yeah, you look at the people one.
Okay. Do you know what time you might get a check? No. Okay. 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 Alright, thanks very much. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's absolutely. Thank you so much. Sorry to bother you.
我就是说太辛苦，你们太辛苦了。我跟我们的领导说，那个你太辛苦了，因为这个可能还在还是这不是新闻啊！你千万别帮我，只是说跟你们那个说一下，你们好多人都穿的太少了，对，因为它的温差太大了。我还真不能够那个给你们感觉那个，对，还在。可以的，去注意时间。对，你们注意啊，那个别那个就是别动着。
Okay, time to go where?
To the toilet.
Oh, do we? Okay. I'm going to do that then.
You got your key?
If you want to toilet, they still have time. Yeah, so you can start tomorrow. Lucky to have that attitude. My day. I know, but for me, it's a real exceptional experience. For most of you have done it before. Yeah, I know some Germans that come from the Oh, it's not. When you go back to your home, I told my president, I also told my boss. It's so cold. 他觉得有，他觉得好好吃，我要拿的好好吃，他就可以吃好好吃。I will see you. bug 问你要电池啊，他出来找你了啊，交接一下啊。
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the longer it goes, the more I think it will be tonight. Yeah, because otherwise, if so, Besson was the hard stop, right? But at that point, if they're like, well, Jameson and Howard can stay to carry on the talks, I've got to go, then the talks may as well have broken up then. Yeah.
How much we should lower the tariffs, how much we can export relatively chips.
Oh my god, what is wrong with this?
0.05啊，换句话，过久了。
有，应该在游泳池里。看谁还记得带雨衣啊？穿厚的。That's true. That's what I was doing for my 他们是包机吧？
你看这个，哎，我觉得10晚上就会晚上这个时间到。
I was just trying to have some fun, being like maybe we could all go home. But yeah, no. I was thinking they are revving for reasons which aren't. Oh, there's Elliot.
What's your friend?
一会儿万一出来呢？应该是出来就天气晴。应该是不亮，他不能让你把本子打。
You know what? This is such a lame sort of 21st century thing to be caught up in. But I've been on my feet like so much all day, and yet my step count is so high. Done below average steps. I've I need to bounce from one step to the other more, but then I think it doesn't, you know. It doesn't count. You've got 10,000. I imagine that. How am I only on 6,000? What are you driving? How do you get to 10,000? Ah. that will do it.
Run to the car to get batteries.
Yeah.
The worst thing I ever had was
40,000. Yeah, I've done about 40,000 sometimes, but normally when I've run a half marathon, which gets you a lot
Oh, that was doing your job.
right. God, that's a lot, yeah.
Getting so old for this. I don't mind staying
Yeah. Beanbags. Right.
I got two of them as well.
Yeah. If we're back here tomorrow, I'm packing out a sofa bed or something. Air mattress. Duvet.
Someone said that the article
Yeah, it was the US Embassy, wasn't it? Who said, like, because so much of the choreography was like making sure that all the but he didn't really know. He was like, I'm not totally sure how they're handling this because of that. So, I mean, maybe he's on the plane to Beijing. Maybe he's.
It's very like they have a deadline, right? It's not like revolutions. No, in Germany it's when the unions discuss pay things like that.
Yeah.
It's all night.
Yeah.
Like that they have a deadline.
No, well, the deadline's like the 12th of August or something. Like the deadline's in a long time. Yeah.
Theory, right?
Yeah.
And in Geneva.
You know what's so crazy is like what's his name, like Keith Hassett or Kevin Hassett. Like there was one someone who's not part of the talks, who was like, "Oh yeah, I think it'll be quite quick. We're just looking for a handshake." Like was it on Sunday night or Monday morning? And so then the idea that it was even going to go to 2 days, it was like, oh, that's a surprise. We thought it was going to be.
What happens if you deal with a 4,000-year-old country?
Is it into here? Or is it into here? Oh, sorry. We can hear everything we say. I don't want to
No,
walk
it's not.
around. Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Is that one? That one's.
Okay, that's not.
So that's.
If I switch that off,
Right.
really?
How bad is it? The GB News guy was down here earlier. He tends to do security and stuff. Almost all the lives he was doing the attack industry. And so he was having to read up on That's why I was asking. That's why I put the mic down. That's why. But I was like, I need to work over it. I mean, I don't. I don't have a filter. I just get it. As I say that I say that just how that's how filter makes a big difference in how it tastes. No, I have seen those advertised. Now I've heard you talk about and that is 100% a thing. You know how people are like, so we had to make
测试。
Is this a film or is it Korean prison services? I was just like, okay, I now believe because I suppose someone could because sometimes it's based on Google searches on the network. Maybe someone's once I got and then this one let's jump to this right. Yeah, I mean, Andy McCaskill to be honest, I think we collectively realised 2 days after this something like this was because I think Jonathan even tried to put Ben's name down and send you last night because he initially so Kate initially gave your name that was this and then because at the beginning they were like once you're here and the US Treasury spokesperson and then obviously he was in offices but yeah I we were here because I have sure he would know
Nobody Why not? When something happens.
Well, we're hoping something happens.
Oh, really? It's nearly midnight.
He just said that. To be fair, if I was in 10 o'clock insults, you could see up my sit like that was as long as you needed to be there. So.
No, I don't. Last time I looked, it was not that easy. Go back home.
Thank you for saying I'm going to take
What are you going to do if you have to snack?
well, a big salmon.
Oh.
Tom?
close again.
They seem to suggest they wanted the cars to the inside.
入画了，入画了。 这个我理解，蛮麻烦，对吧？对，那这样我把这个也这样。明天就是还不会，这不是他不会，我妈的，我对，以后会睡觉。他们所以明天就是6点对啊，这个也能弄出来，这样的话至少我们这里边有这样的我们这个里面能绑在一起，能绑在一起，这在哪一起？
会有吗？没有人会用，现在不用他们会用，他根本就不会用。对呀，我教的他 TV，我到现在都不会怎么使，他出来了。但是没关系，那你等我教教我。因为那个主机位现在他要走，他给他走。没事，你说 TV 又没事。 我看看旁边那个泡的那个特别有，泡的怎么了？泡就是那个旁边那个橘子还有多少店？
还有3个。
啊，不是，在 TVU 下边呢，在地下放的。
还有spare。
Лавка таковые.
Yeah, but
对，一直录着。
yeah, because if I put a mic here, it's so different. Yeah, and we will go on with this one. What but I'm going to take way back. No, but yeah, I'm just taking it. So basically, and I send you the taxi code.
现在。
哎，来了来了来了！
Chinese International。
对，部长，请问有什么样的进展呢？现在我们在中国媒体在这边，
中国媒体在这边，
国际媒体，
国际媒体，那我站在中间一点。
So Chinese media's here, foreign media there, so I'm going to stand in the middle.
Holy shit!
好，首先感谢中外所有的媒体界朋友们对中美这次伦敦会谈的关注。
First of all, I would like to thank all the friends from the media, both China and foreign, Chinese and foreign, for your attention to this meeting.
特别是现在应该是晚上11点多了吧？12点多了，在外面你们守了这么长时间，非常辛苦。
It's already midnight, almost 12 in the evening, and it's really been a very long day for all of you.
其次我要感谢英国政府为这次中美会谈给予的支持提供的便利。
And secondly, I would like to thank the government of the United Kingdom for the support and facility that it has provided for this meeting.
当然我也要说，就在你们在外面很辛苦的等候的时候，中美两国团队在大楼里面，我们也非常努力的工作。
Of course, I would like to say that whilst you are waiting outside very anxiously, the teams from China and the United States were also working very diligently inside.
在过去的2天时间里面，中美双方团队进行了很深入的交流。
Over the last couple of days, the two teams had very in-depth exchange.
我们的沟通是非常专业、理性、深入、坦诚的。
Our communication has been very professional, rational, in-depth, and candid.
双方原则上就落实两国元首6月5号通话共识以及日内瓦会谈共识达成了框架。
The two sides agreed in principle the framework for implementing the consensus of the two heads of state in their phone call on the 5th of June, as well as the consensus of the meeting in Geneva.
双方将把这些会谈的情况以及原则达成的这种落实框架向各自的领导人汇报。
The two sides will bring back and report to our respective leaders the talks in the meeting as well as the framework that was reached in principle.
我们希望这次伦敦会谈取得的进展，有利于中美之间进一步增进信任。
We hope that the progress we made in this London meeting will be conducive to increasing trust between China and the United States.
进一步推动中美经贸关系稳定健康发展。
To further promoting stable and sound development of China-US trade and economic relations.
也为全球经济的发展注入积极的正能量。
And also to inject positive energy into world economic development.
谢谢大家。
Thank you all.
李部长，最后这个想问一下，刚才美方说有哪些细节问有些了解的问题吗？
It's not the phone, I think. wanted to make sure the audio, because also had to move it. Yeah. No, but yeah. Whew. When you have to move it from one to the other because the Chinese clients want.
我把那个麦子的高高在上，所有人都可以看到。小心，他们进去干嘛？
赶紧的，赶紧的。然后咱们这个甜品。
泡是水啊。是国际那个是什么？中国国际。它是中Behind the light.
There's a lot of words that just to listen to.
I like it when it gets like this. Did you run in with all of? Did you
No, I didn't.
siege?
I did it later. But for some reason,
Are we up on a ram or no?
But from the outside.
No, there's no.
我们就回去了，但是也许。
Are we disconnected completely? No. Can we just without a fortune? Can we just run it by? So this is the check. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's some sort of
Wait.
2 sacks.
And what?
I'm going to bring them right
what
here.
ram we might be on?
210.
We're on ram 210.
I mean,
Yeah. No.
They've got the REM is they've opened up the booking again, so you should be ready.
Yeah. Should be good.
Should be okay. He's still not at the steps yet. Turn.
hey guys, get behind the line. Come on, get to the left. Behind the line. Get back.
Are you up? Yeah.
Behind the line. Get back.
Yeah, we're up. Yeah. No, I don't think he's here. Oh, right, yeah. Excuse me. No. Excuse me.
No,
Excuse
hey,
me.
get get back.
She's official, but I mean, it's like,
They need to have their view.
yeah.
That's fine right there, but they need to have their camera.
No, excuse me. No. I need to. Okay, and is Sam Fox is up there?
What is that? You're what?
Yeah. The one that took on the bridge and that makes sense.
Hey. No. Hey.
You're all blocking all the light. That's so close.
Sorry to keep you all up so late. I know it's hard work, but easier for you than it was for Ambassador Greer and myself.
So how'd it go? Yeah, tell us.
So, we have reached a framework to implement the Geneva Consensus and the call between the two presidents, right? So that was on June 5th. So we've combined those two. We've reached a framework for implementation. Now the process will be, we're both going to go back. We, Ambassador Greer, myself, and Scott Bessent, who just left a little earlier, which you saw, because he's testifying tomorrow on the Hill. So the idea is we're going to go back and speak to President Trump and make sure he approves it. They're going to go back and speak to President Xi and make sure he approves it. And if that is approved, we will then implement the framework that we have worked hard over these last 2 days. Obviously, the team stayed at it until it was done late into the evening.
Can you trust the Chinese to follow through with the agreement?
I think what happens is when you put President Xi and President Trump on the phone together, it changes the outcome. They were focused on trying to deliver on what President Xi told President Trump, and I think obviously Ambassador Greer, myself, and Secretary Bessent were completely focused on delivering what President Trump wanted from us. So I think both sides had extra impetus in order to get things done because we both have our presidents behind us, pushing us to make sure we take care of our respective sides.
It was 16 hours over 2 days. 16 hours over 2 days.
What was agreed upon in terms of export controls?
Well, again, this is an issue where we're just talking about implementing the Geneva Agreement. The Geneva Agreement was about getting tariffs down to a mutually acceptable level and having the Chinese remove their countermeasures, and that's what we talked about. Obviously, President Trump and Xi had their own call where they talked about a handful of things, and that's where we're very focused in getting to full compliance with that Geneva Agreement, whether it was their rare earth minerals or other things that they agreed to.
It's 16. How hard was 16 hours over 2 days? How hard is that? I mean, how difficult were these negotiations?
Well, the most difficult part about the negotiations is having an interpreter take, what someone else has said and tell you about it. So when they get very emotional, and then you look at the interpreter sort of reads it without emotion. It's just a very long process that can't be sped up because you have to let the person finish speaking. You have to let the interpreter finish speaking, whereas if we were negotiating with each other, we'd be interrupting each other, talking to each other. It would just go faster. So you have to understand when you're doing it so precisely with interpreters, things just take time.
But it does let you think. But it does let you think about what you're going to say.
Definitely true.
It sounds like you have to meet again. Where are you going to meet and when?
Listen, the two largest economies on the planet are always going to meet, right? I mean, we have video conferences, we have calls, we have emails, we have in-person meetings. We don't have another meeting scheduled, but we're going to be in contact tomorrow and the next day, and likely the day after that, just like we are with many of our training partners.
Of course, because the idea behind all of this is for us to increase our trade with China, right? We have an existing significant trade deficit, and it's been President Trump's fundamental goal is to reduce the trade deficit and increase trade. So this was the first step, the framework by which we will then approach and discuss growing trade. But first we had to get sort of the negativity out, and now we can go forward to try to do positive trade, growing trade, and beneficial to both China and to the United States of America.
Do you feel confident to make the agreement before the 12th of August?
Can you repeat that again?
Do you feel confident to make any agreement with China before the 12th of August?
Before the deadline?
Well, we know that they're motivated. Our president is motivated. We're moving as quickly as we can, so we would very much like to find an agreement that makes sense for both countries. The relationship is complex. There are challenges that can't be eliminated in a couple of months, of course, but there are things we potentially could do. So, I just think we feel positive about engaging with the Chinese, understanding the real challenges we've had for many years, and some will endure.
So if there's no movement, then will tariffs go back?
Deadline. You extended the deadline.
Well, listen, that's going to be up to the president, right? I mean, that's all of this is up to the president. He's been asked directly about this sometimes, and he says something like, "We'll see." So I'm not going to say more than that.
The restrictions on chips like the H20 from NVIDIA, will they ever be on the table to lift those restrictions?
I mean, again, this conversation is about the Geneva Consensus, the Geneva Agreement, and implementing that. I mean, when it comes to export controls and all these different things, I mean, in 8 years of negotiating with the Chinese, I've never had a meeting where they didn't want to talk about export controls and that kind of thing. I mean, we're focused on the Geneva Agreement. We're focused on the calls for the
So will we
president's
see more
implementing
rare
that.
earth, will we see more rare earth minerals then coming?
That is
We
definitely our
do
expectation.
absolutely expect that the topic of rare earth minerals and magnets with respect to the United States of America will be resolved in this framework implementation. That is a fundamental part of that. Also, there were a number of measures the United States of America put on when those rare earths were not coming. You should expect those to come off sort of, as President Trump said, in a balanced way. When they approve the licenses, then you should expect that our export implementation will come down as well.
This meeting different than Geneva?
Is that a time
What was
frame? Is there a
asked
time frame
outside
for that
Geneva?
then? Is there a time frame?
Well, the difference between this meeting and Geneva is Geneva set the framework, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't happening. It was going too slowly, too painfully, and so we put that on the table. But most importantly, you had President Trump and President Xi on the phone together, and they gave sort of the fundamental foundation on which we were able to reach agreement. Without those two leaders, it was very difficult, but with the two leaders talking, I think we both sides had that strong push to let's get this done. That's why we stayed at it so late in the day, that we never stopped. We started early, we ended late. You have to get things done if you're working for President Trump, and I'm sure they felt they had to get it done because they were working for President Xi.
Are they going to have another phone call anytime soon?
Oh, you'd have to ask them. That's between them.
Did they seem motivated? Did the Chinese seem motivated to come to some sort of agreement?
Oh, we're here. What time are we talking to you? I mean, obviously it's 11 and a half hours, 12 hours since we got together, right, this morning. More, right?
Well,
More.
When was the call with the president? It's like Thursday morning, and it's
Right.
and it's
Thursday.
Like,
Monday.
Thursday,
I mean,
right? And we did.
I mean, we got together at 10 this morning. It's almost midnight, so it's 14 hours of being together.
In writing after
Well-
the talks in London.
Well, we have an agreement. We have the Geneva Agreement. Right now, we've agreed on a framework to implement that. Right? We have an agreement already.
What does that framework look like? When do we get to see the framework?
Oh, well, I mean, this is, we have the Geneva Agreement. That's what we're keying off of. And we're working together very closely with them to make sure that the implementation goes forward speedily.
Geneva was 4 weeks ago. How do you avoid having this situation happen again?
Well, I think the difference this time is you had the two presidents on the phone together, really creating the foundation that is the purpose that this framework is built upon. So it was the combination of Geneva's consensus coupled with the president's phone call led us to feeling actually very confident that we will work this out. Now, President Trump's got to approve it. The Chinese side has to take that back to their president. And then once that's done, we will be back on the phone together and we will then start to implement this agreement.
But do we have any breakthroughs? Any?
Well, I think we have the two largest economies in the world have reached a handshake, right, for a framework. We're going to start to implement that framework upon the approval of President Trump, and the Chinese will get their President Xi's approval, and that's the process. So once the presidents approve it, we will then seek to implement it, and it is by definition, two giant economies have lots of complex issues, but I think we pounded through all of them, and I think we've reached a framework to implement the agreements that have been reached.
Did you guys have a call with President Trump today or yesterday to brief him on the talks?
Obviously.
And
What did he
was
say?
his
What did he
reaction?
say?
What is his reaction?
Well, the motivation for the team is clear. The direction was clear. The conversations were clear. And I think the outcome, we're going to go fly back and we're going to go brief, the three of us are going to brief President Trump and we'll get his take on it. and then we will start the implementation phase with our Chinese counterparts.
How many sections are this framework? I mean, what are we looking at? A big document? Is it multifaceted? Are we just talking about export control versus minerals?
Well, the benefit was Ambassador Greer and Secretary Besson had really already done this work in Geneva a month ago. So this is really sort of making sure there's meat on the bones, the agreement is complete, the presidents are behind it. So they really already did the framework work, and this was really just getting everything ready for its implementation. And so I think, you know, this is very consistent to where we've been, to where we're going. I think it's really beneficial to the United States of America. It's really beneficial to the Chinese and the China economy, and I think we will grow from here. We will implement, and then we will seek to grow our trading between the two countries. America has, again, a large trade deficit with China that we are going to focus on, and the idea is to do it in a positive way and to grow our trade with China, which will reduce our trade deficit. But first we wanted to get the framework launched.
Is there enforcement in this deal?
As long as Donald Trump's the president, there's going to be enforcement. Just trust me on that.
Well, that's a really good answer. I love that answer.
Trade deal come up, purchasing agreement?
What's that? So again, listen, we're ready to have a larger conversation with the Chinese on the types of topics you've talked about, and they've telegraphed now and then the kinds of things they might be interested in. We are very focused on implementing the Geneva Agreement and the President's consensus. That's number one. When that happens, that's really going to unlock the ability to talk about more things. And again, there are some things that the Chinese and U.S. economies, they just don't fit together very well. Other things maybe they do. And there'll be a time for broader conversations on that. And we certainly, you know, touched on that throughout these meetings, but these meetings are really accelerate implementation of Geneva contingent on the President's mutual agreement.
The fentanyl tariffs, though, are still in place. Is there any progress you're seeing from Beijing on fentanyl?
Well, that was the topic of discussion for specialists here, right? Each side had a specialist to talk about fentanyl. Clearly, that's a priority for our president, and frankly, for all Americans, right? This is not a partisan issue. You know, we would expect to see progress from the Chinese on that issue in a major way.
Are you coming back to London in the future for the coming meetings?
We don't know.
No, but it was wonderful. Our hosts from the United Kingdom, you know, they really provided a wonderful place for us to meet. It was easy. It was comfortable. Both sides felt very comfortable, and I think it created a great atmosphere in which to get a deal done.
Did the court case against tariffs, President Trump's tariffs, come up? Does that affect your leverage at all?
It did not.
That doesn't come up.
It did not come up at all.
Do national security issues complicate this? There were Chinese nationals that were arrested with agro-terrorism weapons or bio-weapons in the U.S. Did that cause a problem?
I mean, that didn't come up at all. I mean, all of these things listen, we're talking about geopolitics and grand strategy. Some of these things are dealt with in compartments, right? And obviously we go back, and when we say we're going to brief the president, we're also going to brief all these other people, right? National security folks, et cetera. Right? Everyone wants to know about this, and everyone's balancing everything. We didn't talk about those things here, thankfully, but obviously there are people in our government who think very serious about those things.
What's the status of the other countries you're negotiating with? July 9th?
We're just here to talk about China tonight.
Thanks. All right, thank you all. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
staying
everybody.
up so late and waiting for us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
You know, when the herd music moves, you've got a cramped space. Really? Yeah.
James, enjoy next day.
Yeah, we're going.
You got that. Hey, John, I don't think the